What's going on, folks? My hand got caught in between the headphone thing. Man, I can't believe I broke my headset. I got a new computer and I was gonna swap the video cards, but instead I just broke one of the USB female ports because I kicked it, and now I don't have a headset. Anyways, so we're gonna talk about not my weaknesses, but Abigail's. That's what this video is about. Some of the obvious weaknesses and some of the not so obvious, maybe, from my own observations. Man, so what's pretty obvious is the mobility, right? The character himself, not very fast of a walk speed. His dash may be one of the slower ones in the game at 25. In fact, that's probably one of the slowest in the game. And well, I guess his backdash is pretty much in the same boat. Actually, they're both 25, if I remember correctly. They're both 25 frames total. And when you got characters like Chun-Li, 15 frames, those are the fastest in the game, and 10 more frames. Now, it's not only that the dash itself is a long duration, but it has a long distance as well. So this is one of the problems that Urian has against characters like Guile and Nash, where his dash, although it's fast, it covers too much space. So he'll often, I will often dash into fireballs because I'm trying to just get closer to my opponent and start to zone and get into ranges that are beneficial for me to start anti-airing, that kind of thing. So he's going to suffer from that in terms of moving around projectiles. But, for example, you can get around it with back fears that will nullify them. It gives you some meter, and you definitely don't want to double tap it because you'll get the second back hard punch unless you're going to hit your opponent with it, right? You can do that against Lower Thunderclap. But this is not, if you look at the recovery on this back hard punch, you're not really advancing that much because you're just stuck in recovery. You're not able to. And it's possible for your opponent to approach you and have advantage. You do gain a little bit of meter. I think I just said that. I don't know. But you gain a little bit of meter. So you could parry. So what you would really do is look at the difference of total active frames of your back hard punch and your parry, just to see which one you recover faster off of. However, you can cancel this back hard punch, and then you can go into some options. But again, this is a bit dicey to do this. When you're doing this run, you're committed to it. As far as when you start the run, you can go into Nitro Charge and then examine what your opponent is going to do, and then eliminate some of the startup of your Nitro Charge, so you don't have to go into that crouching pose. But that's pretty much the gist of it. Yeah, you can reflect the fireballs when you're V-trigger. That's there. But as far as the default position where you're at, the projectiles are obviously, I mean, I don't think anybody's surprised that that's going to be a problem for a big character such as Abigail. That's kind of the traditional approach to how these characters work, right? High damage, that kind of thing, command grab. So yeah, his jump is also, I think, is one of among the slower of the game as far as how long he's in the air. And he doesn't exactly, he's not exactly got the air Nike pumps, right? He's not really going too far up. But maybe, I guess it's relative to how big it is. Maybe he's going about the same height. But I think compared to like jumping over fireballs, it'll be challenging for him to do that because it's so slow. And his normals might have like the Hugo syndrome, right? In Street Fighter 4 and in Street Fighter 3 Third Strike a little bit, where if you do a normal in the air, a fireball is going to hit you from the past. It's going to remind you of your things you may or may not regret just because you hit a button in the air, your hurt box. It's like behind you, right? So that might be an issue too. So yeah, mobility, right? Mobility. The walk speed is slow, the dash is slow, and he's a big target. And you'll see like jump attacks hit him from an angle where most characters, you're just not there. And by the way, this does make you crouch a little bit. So if a character jumps at you, this will avoid it, but I'm not sure that's even good or not. You can, you got armor if this happens. But side note. So those are the more obvious, maybe there's some things I left out here and there, but those are the more obvious things that are bad about this character. So what may not be as obvious is the low short, right? That is pretty obvious, right? He doesn't have a 3-frame normal. His crouching short is 4 frames. But what is kind of a bummer about his 4-frame, on top of not having a 3-frame, is what you can really do off of it. And, I mean, outside of, like, activating V-Trigger, you don't have much at all. Let me get my stats. Let me get some stats, right? Let's just turn these on infinite. It's gonna bug some people who are like, who are lab monsters, as the young whippersnappers like to call it, lab monsters. But yeah, the crouching short, you can actually reach that frame advantage. But outside of that, you hit crouching short, that's it. You have a block string. You're +2 on block. Against non-3-frame characters, it is a throw tick, but that's it. You end on crouching short unless you know that your crouching short is gonna hit. You can do something like light punch, Abigail punch. off of crouching short, but that's not a hit confirm. You're gonna have to punish with that. And then maybe you can do EX if you're too far away, right? But that's it. I mean, let me make sure you can't combo into EX giant flip. Oh, that's actually pretty good. That might not be too bad, but that is probably range dependent. Yeah, you have to be up close. Maybe like even from here. Yep. You have, for that first hit to hit. Yeah. So that's going to be a little bit problematic, and there's probably a gap between the first hit and the second hit. So yeah, that by itself, yeah, it's not really impressive at all. So your reversal crouching short, your 4-frame, it's kind of whack in terms of punishing your opponent, or like getting a hit confirm off of it. You can't like short, and then attack. So that is one big drawback out of it. So speaking of hit confirms, what is also pretty, also a bummer, is that his hit confirms off of block strings require meter, and it doesn't end there with the drawback. So let me show you what I'm talking about. If I do something like, I kind of regret having Nash on the screen right now, just because he doesn't have a 3-frame, so I can demonstrate this properly. And that's not what I need either. Give me a normal. Just give me a normal. Good enough. So, crouching short. If I hit confirm off of this, I have to use meter. Into standing jab and then to EX Abigail punch, right? Why isn't that working now? That is... Did I just find something new? That's definitely a combo. What is going on? Oh, it's not counter hitting. What? Come on, game. I don't have time for this. I don't know my own recordings. I shouldn't have picked Nash. I really wanted to demonstrate just the... Oh my gosh. Alright, we're gonna program this live. We're just gonna give him a crouching jab. Why didn't my crouching short counter hit his roundhouse? Is that a training mode bug thing? 3, 2, 1, 1, 2, 3. Alright, now we gotta counter it. So, this is what I'm talking about. I have to use meter from this position to get this EX Abigail punch. I cannot use the regular one. I can't, it doesn't reach. I don't have enough minerals. I must construct additional pylons or something. Doesn't work. So that, again, that 4-frame move, that is very difficult to, I have to counter hit just to get this combo, right? I'm like mixing up between grabbing to really make this work. And against Nash, it's okay to command grab here because he doesn't have a 3-frame. But off of my fastest attack, I don't have any hit confirms. Now, here is where it gets even worse. If I hit them with EX Abigail punch and they back recover, that's it. I'm pretty sure it's over as far as knockdown opportunity. I do EX Abigail punch. I forget the exact number. It's probably like +8 or something like that. But it looks like, yeah, when I combo into it, they're too far away for my crouching hard punch to even hit them. In the corner, this knockdown is fine. But yeah, just to give you an idea, what do we do? What do we want to do? Standing short and then this. So right, that's gonna push me far away. Hit back recover. I hit crouching hard punch. Too far. Boom. Nothing there. If they back recover, it's over. Unless they're in the corner. If they're in the corner, it's great. But I mean, maybe if you approach it with the philosophy of you are gaining more corner position, right? And so, like an example of a knockdown that would be okay is like the giant flip. You're still in range of the crouching hard punch. You can catch your opponent off guard, right? You can do that whole thing. Crouching hard punch and then this stuff, or you can go into, yeah, things. We'll go over knockdowns in a later video. So speaking of those knockdowns, the throw, the other thing that's bad about Abigail is the throw, Okizeme, both normal throw, back throw, and his command grab. Normal throw in the corner is pretty good, but it also requires manual timing. You can throw loop them. You can just constantly do this here. I don't know the exact number off the top of my head, but what advantage this is. It's equal to the startup of the second hit of roundhouse, right? Crouching roundhouse, because that crush counter. So it's something around there. But again, since this crouching roundhouse is hitting on the second hit, you can't V-trigger cancel it, so you can't make it safe. And if you dash up, this throw is unsafe, right? This throw is unsafe. Command grab is safe. It is -2, right? Something like that. But you don't have advantage. I think in the corner you can do standing hard punch and that will crush counter. Standing hard punch being -3, so that's pretty good, right? Oh wow, you have more than that. That means it's more than 25. It's probably plus. No, it's got to be 23. If it's dash, that doesn't make sense. If his dash is 25 and you're negative after you dash up, maybe it's 26. Maybe it's a 24 frame knockdown. Something like that. Point is, when you dash up, you don't have advantage. In the corner, you don't have to dash up, so you will have advantage. So there's the other things you can manipulate with that. So, off of that crouching short, you do get the throw key off of 4 frame characters, but after that, it's over. You're back to neutral, and you're back in that struggling position. It's struggling position where you have to kind of walk up, and then, you know, Nash is going to throw fireballs. You're going to try to neutral jump them, and you're the best player in the world, and you're going to land into the fireball. So yeah, I think that about covers everything that I wanted to cover. Basically, it's just that his low short is 4 frames. The ones that are not so obvious, so it's low short, which is his 4 frame normal. It's very hard to convert off of it. And you have to use meter to convert into EX Abigail punch to get hit confirms. And then you don't have any options off of the back recovery when you use that meter that you have to use to do damage. So what this is gonna turn out to, in my opinion, Abigail is gonna benefit more from using parries. So instead of counter hitting, parry, and then off of the parry go into giant flip because that's a better knockdown. And you gain retrigger, you gain some things, and yeah. But and also going into the, what is this, Ontario Bay Area Sunset Wheel Rise thing, that command grab is actually good. The run grab, this you do have advantage after that 4 throw. So that's what you're gonna want to go for. But again, that is set up off of a situation that takes a bit of risk involved, because this itself there are answers to. But yeah, that's it. Abigail overall, he's interesting, and we'll find out more as time progresses. Thanks for stopping by. I hope you learned something. I'm AutoMattock.